It's long. Sir, Sir
Yes.
Raju sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please tell me.
can we start?
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
All right, sir. Good afternoon to all. Today is the third day and final day of our workshop conducted in the Department of Physics Phase 2 campus. The workshop starts with welcome address by Dr. Kavita Madam. Kavita, please.
Hi, sir. We are very grateful to our Honorable President for giving this opportunity to conduct this virtual lab. I would like to welcome our Dean, Dr. Manivannan, who always encourages and motivates us to do such wonderful programs. Then I would like to welcome our head of the department, Dr. Radhakrishnan, who is the backbone of this department. I wholeheartedly welcome our eminent speaker, Dr. Raju Padankani, who gave a wonderful ideas about the virtual lab. Really, the last two sessions were highly beneficial and valuable, which gives immense knowledge about the electronics to our students. The software, the sneaker card is also very useful to our students. We welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome our faculty members of our university and our outside campus. Finally, I would like to welcome all the student participants inside and outside the campus. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request our Dean sir, Dr. S. Manivannan, for his valuable valedictory address. Sir, please.
Good evening, one and all. It gives me immense pleasure in giving felicitation for this very good gathering. Really, I am appreciating the efforts taken by Dr. Radhakrishnan sir and his team. Really well done, sir. My heartiest appreciations to you and your team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kindly accept my appreciations. And of
Thank you.
course, I thank our chief guest, Dr. Pantagani, Dr. Raju from Geetanjali College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad. Really, I am
Thank you,
thankful
sir.
to you, sir, for accepting
sir.
our invitation to
Thank you, sir.
teach. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
To teach virtual lab in physics experiments. Really, these kind of innovative ideas are really we have to welcome. These all are the need for the hour. 10 years back, I feel, yes, really 10 years back only, when I was attending some program organized by the very famous College of Engineering, Gindi, in the topic P-Spice, which is the simulation software. That time only it was introduced. Actually, not 10 years back, it is around 2004 or 2003, I could not remember. At that time, we all were doing experiments in laboratory only. When they were teaching this P-Spice to me, it was really a nice opportunity. We have learned a lot with the help of the simulation software. We can have access anytime, anywhere for this kind of virtual laboratories. Strictly speaking, apart from teacher, there is no manpower or any maintenance is being required. Also, we need not to worry about the size of the classes. It may be around 5 or it may be even 500. We need not to worry about the batch size. So for the administrators, it is really happy. The only problem is whether we can have this kind of laboratories, virtual laboratories, as a substitute or supplement. That only time has to answer. For me, it is supplementing the real laboratory. Say, for example, if they practice well enough before the laboratory, commencing of laboratory, we can have the actual session in an interesting manner. There we need not to go and we need not to understand the concept. If it is under supplementary category, means we can gain a lot that makes us learning an interesting one. The rapid growth in ICT have made it possible. Really thankful to the chief guest, Dr. Raju sir. Like these persons only have taken initiative in this promoting virtual laboratories. Of course, I wanted to share fellow colleagues about the MHRD initiative. There is a laboratory under National Mission on Education through ICT, vlab.co.in. We really amazing one. This kind of initiatives we must go through, and we can utilize this pandemic days also in an effective manner. We need not to leave our students in an idle manner. Instead, if we keep them engaging, it will be useful for the students also to learn to spend these days in an active manner in spite of worrying about COVID-19. Of course, almost we have finished this semester. If this kind of initiatives by Dr. Raju and our head of the department, if we take this kind of message to the next semester, it will be a quite interesting one. I request the fellow participants to take this kind of open softwares to your institutions also, such that you can make benefit for your students. Thank you, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, for providing this kind of opportunity for speaking with these great audiences. I request you to continue these kind of initiatives in future also. Thank you for inviting me, sir. Thank you. You please carry on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable valedictory address. Now it is the turn of the resource person. Please, sir, you can proceed.
Yes, sir. So I'm continuing. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you the dean sir for having me. Thank also, and yeah, today the last session, the third day of virtual lab. In today's session, I'm going to explain about the software where we can create our own animations, simple animations I'll show you, and then I'll explain a torsional pendulum experiment by using a virtual lab, and if time permits, I'll also explain one more experiment. So let me start the session by sharing my screen. Yeah. So in the today's session, first I would like to introduce you. I like to explain you about a software which is named as Algodo, ALGODO. So this is the icon for the software. First of all, I would like to show you what are the animations we can make by using that software. So almost I think in the first day I have explained you how we can create our own virtual circuits, which means all that software is purely for electronic based labs, and this software is for mechanical labs, we can say, or we can create our own mechanical movements. For example, you could see here there is some oscillations. So there is some oscillation, and there is a movement of solids, and here there is some buoyancy forces in the liquids. Here you could see, observe here, and here, as you all know, this is the dispersion of here is the dispersion of a light, how the light ray is dispersing through the prism, and this we can make an animation by using this software. And as this is the machinery which is moving continuously, it is moving. These type of machineries also we can do by using this software. Now let me introduce the software, and this is not a web-based application. For this software you need to download it and you need to install in your personal computer. This is not a web page. This is a software. This software you need to download it and you need to install in your software. So before entering into the animations, I will explain some parts of this software. And in this software, the entire plane is divided into two surfaces. This line, the below the line, it is represents the ground. The above the line, this represents the air medium, which is where we are actually. So this is the air medium, and these simulations are in this software. Every moment of the object, according to the physics equations, let me say, or physics related motions, we can say. Or for example, I'll show you little later. I'll show you. Before that, let me explain. So by using these tools, we can create the objects. By using these tools, and I'll just I'll show you a little faster. No. So by using these tools, while doing animations, you will get to know how we can use these tools. And these tools are to create the objects, and these tools we can use to move the objects, we can say. And these are all the tools for organize the objects, let me say. Or for example, here it is the spring. So we can attach a spring for object. And this is an axle, which means to rotate the circle or to rotate a wheel, we should axle it. So this is the axle tool, and this is also axle tool, and this is some forcing tool. For example, no, I'll show you one by one. Yeah. So now, first, how to create an animation? So I'll show you by explaining a small concept in the physics, that is the friction, let me say. So as you all know, what is the friction? The friction which opposes the motion, or the friction which supports the motion, that you all know. And the friction will develop in between the contacts, in between the surfaces which are in contact. And for example, if I would like to explain the friction concept to the students, so what I need to do, first I will take a wedge shaped surface. To get the wedge shaped surface, use this tool. So use a brush tool. So you just draw the wedge shape. You just draw the wedge shape. So this is a wedge shape. So if it is not clear with you, you can delete it. Hold a moment, I'll show you. Yeah. So first I am taking a wedge shaped object. Yeah. So this is a wedge shape. On this wedge shape, I need to place an object. Let me say a small object of mass m, let me say. So this is an object I placed on the wedge shaped surface. Now, after placing the object on the wedge shaped surface, so you just click on the play button. The play button will start your animation. So let me click on the play button. You see here. See there? Since this wedge shaped surface is very smooth, so the object is sliding over the wedge shape. So let me check, and for example, in this case, in this class, I would like to explain how the friction affect the motion. So what I need to do, first I'll select this complete wedge shape. I'll make one more wedge shape. So see here, there are three wedge shaped surfaces I have taken. Three wedge shaped surfaces I have taken. Now what I'll do, I'll make the first wedge shaped surface material. So see here, there are some properties for that material. So I'll make this material, the friction, to 0, which means this wedge shape is a smooth surface. Now I'll make the second wedge shape, the friction little high. Let me say 0.2. The friction of the second wedge shape I'll make as 0.2. Now I'll make the friction of the third wedge shape, let me say 0.4. So in my animation, so I have three surfaces. One is smooth surface, the second one is little high friction, the third surface with more friction. So there are three different surfaces with different friction values. So let me see how the block will move on different surfaces by clicking the play button. You please see here. So, and I'll show you once again. So you please try to understand. So on the first surface, since it is very smooth, so the block slides very fastly. And the second surface, it is a little friction, so it will slide very slowly. And third surface, it is very high frictionable. So because I have mentioned here the friction of my material, my surface, it is a little higher than this surface, so it slides little slow. So in this way, you can explain the students how friction affects the motion of the objects by creating your own animations. So this is how we can create our own animations and how we can explain a friction concept to the students. And similarly, for example, I would like to explain to the students the mechanism of a spring, how the oscillations are made in the spring. For example, if I would like to explain the mechanism of oscillations in the string, so what I need to do, first I'll take a sphere. So I'll take a sphere. So this is the sphere, and we don't know what is the type of material of this sphere. To convert to a particular type of a material to the sphere, you just click on here. There is an option. So just first you just click on the sphere and just go to the type of a material. For example, if you click on steel, which means the sphere will convert into a steel. For example, if you click on gold, the sphere will convert into the gold. For example, if you click on a stone, the sphere will convert into stone. Usually we will do the experiment with a steel sphere. So I am converting this sphere into the steel. So now I have successfully placed a sphere here. Now I need to attach a spring to the sphere. So I have taken a spring and I'm placing the spring. See, so yeah, so now I have successfully attached the spring to my sphere. Now let me check whether this is working or not. See there, so the spring is oscillating. For example, let me check with the small oscillation. See here, the spring is, so it is what type of motion it is? It is an SHM. So when I'm dragging and leaving, it executing in simple harmonic motion. So in this way, we can explain the students how a simple harmonic motion are set in the spring. And for example, in my concept and for example, in my experiment, I would like to explain to the student how important the spring constant for the oscillations. Once again, I'm repeating, in my experiment, I would like to explain to the students how the spring constant is important to the oscillations. So to explain the spring constants, what I will do, so I'll create one more spring, and I'll also create one more spring. So see here, there are 3 springs. So you just select one spring and right click on it. You will get to know how much spring constant is there. For example, for my first spring, I'll make the spring constant as 100, let me say. Now I'll go to the second spring. I'll make the spring constant a little higher, let me say 200, let me say 200. I'll go to the third spring. I'll make the spring constant to, let me say 300. Now let us see how the oscillations are made. So see there, so hold a moment, I'll show you. First, let us set all the springs at the same length. Then I'll explain how the spring constant is. Yeah. So you see here, the first spring is enlarging with the large distance, which means the elasticity of the first spring is higher, or the elasticity of the last spring is little lower, which means with higher spring constants we will get high elasticity, and with higher with the less elasticity, and the spring constant will affect the oscillations of the bob. So with this animation we can explain how a spring constant will affect the motions of the bob, or spring motions of the bob. So in this way, we can create our own animation for the spring constant, and we can explain to the students how it affects the oscillations. Yeah. The next, I'll show you one more concept, that the buoyancy force. As you all know, the buoyancy force, due to the buoyancy force, the objects will float on the water. For example, if the weight of the object is less than the buoyancy force, then it will float on the surface. If the weight of the object, or if the weight of the object is higher than the buoyancy force, that will immerse into the water. So that I will show you here. So how we can explain the buoyancy force here, that I will show you. So to explain the buoyancy force, first I need to take a vessel. Hold a moment, I'll show you. Sorry, it is not. Yeah. So hold a moment, I'll show you. This is not coming actually. So to make a buoyancy force, what you need to do, you need to make a vessel first, and then in the vessel, yes, yeah. So now I have taken a vessel. In the vessel, I need to fill with the water. So to fill with the water, take any shape and convert it into liquefy. And if you click on play, so the liquid will come into the vessel. Now I'll take some more liquid because this liquid is not sufficient. Yeah, I'll convert into the liquefy again. Okay, so this is the liquid, and here, so to explain the buoyancy force, now I will take 3 spheres. So first 3 spheres, 1, 2 and 3. So now I'll convert the first sphere into the helium gas, which means the first sphere filled with the helium. As you all know, the helium, which is a very light density, or the density of helium is lighter than the air even. So that helium should go up in the air also. And the second material I'll convert into wood. So the density of the wood is almost equal to the density of water, so that the wood should float on the water surface. And third, I will convert it into stone, which means the density of stone is much higher than the density of water. So the stone should immerse into the water. Now let us see whether the effect will come or not. So you please see here, the first one is helium, it should go up. The second one is wood, it should float on the water. The third one is stone, it should immerse into the water. Let us check. See
Not
there.
visible.
Not visible. Now it is visible, I think. So you please check the animation once again. So you please check. Clear? So
Sir, visible, sir. No problem. Visible.
yes, sir. So since I have converted all the material, since I have given the material property, as I have explained you, as you all know the buoyancy forces. So on the helium, since it is very light, it should go up. And this is the wood, it should float on the water. And this is the stone, it should immerse into the water. So you see the animation. So in this way, we can explain, we can create our own animations for a particular concepts, and we can show to the students, and we can get them and well understood about with this practical knowledge. So this is how we can explain the buoyancy forces by using an animation. And with one more animation, I will explain. Then I'll go to the experiment. And yeah, so this is how we can create a buoyancy. And now I'll explain how we can create a simple pendulum animation. So to create a simple pendulum animation, as we all know, a simple pendulum, which means a thread which is connected to an iron small sphere. So that I need to take a small sphere now. So this is small sphere. See here, this is a small sphere. I need to convert this sphere into the steel. Usually we will use a steel sphere in our labs. So I have converted this sphere into steel, so that now it is a steel sphere. Now this steel sphere need to be connected with a thread. So there is a thread. You see here, there is a thread, rope we can say. So that rope we need to connect to the sphere, and we need to fix its particular point. So now I have connected a thread to my sphere, which means I have created a simple pendulum. See here, it is a simple pendulum. I will make it oscillate. Let us see whether it is oscillating or not. See there, my pendulum is oscillating now. So I have created my own simple pendulum animation here. And an important thing with the software, and a beautiful thing with the software is, for example, I would like to.
The screen is not visible.
I think somebody else is screening. So somebody else is sharing. I'll show you 1 second.
It is visible. It may be a problem of some network to some people.
Are you able to see now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, it's visible, sir.
Yeah, visible.
Now it is visible, I think. Are you able to see that? Are you able to see now?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yeah. So now I have created my own simple pendulum animation here. I have taken a sphere. I have converted the material of the sphere into the steel, and now and again I have taken a rope. I tied the rope at a particular point, and this is a simple sphere. I will make this sphere to oscillate. It is, yeah. See here, my simple pendulum is oscillating now. Now I would like to analyze the motion of this sphere. Let me say. So how to analyze the motion of sphere? The graphing, or by plotting the graph, we can analyze the motion of any object. So how we can plot the graph in this animation? You just right click on the object where or for which object you want to plot, you just right click on it and you just click on show plot. So it will show you the graphical explanation of the motion of that object. So you just right click on it and you just click on show plot. So it will show you the graphical explanation of motion of that particular object, let me say. And initially my x-axis showing the time, the y-axis showing the speed. Let us analyze by using the graph. Now I am playing. See there? See the graph. All of you please look at the graph. So how the velocity is varying for my sphere, for my pendulum, it is going maximum and coming to zero, maximum zero. As you all know, at an extreme position, the velocity will become zero. At a mean position, the velocity is maximum. The same thing you will observe here. So by plotting a graph, for example, if you want to see the graph for time versus, let me say, force, let me say, yeah. So the graph will show you now the time versus force, how the pendulum is oscillating, how the pendulum is moving, or how the forces are varying on the bob of pendulum. The graph will show you. And an excellent thing with this website is you can save this data, this entire data you can save as a CSV file. CSV, as you all know, it is an Excel sheet. So the entire data will be exported as an Excel, and there also you can plot again and you can analyze it. For example, if I change the y-axis to, let me say, the acceleration, let me say. See, so this is the graph for the acceleration of a bob or a simple pendulum, the time versus acceleration. So hope you all understood how we can analyze the motion of an object in this software. First, we can create the animation in this software, and second, we can analyze the motion of the object in this software. And it is a very effective, and we can create our own animation. That is the first thing, the good thing with this software. So see here. And for example, if you want to observe the time versus, or let me say, for the x-axis, I will change to the position. For the y-axis, I will change to the velocity, let me say. So this is the, yeah, the position versus velocity graph. The position versus velocity graph. So the velocities, and you can see the data points wherever you want. So this is how we can create our own animation for a particular concepts, and we can explain by doing a practical analysis. So this is how we can plot the graph, and this graph can be exported as an image and as a CSV file, whatever you want. And you can also change the to the various properties or various parameters you can change. So this is how we can create animations. And the other important thing that I would like to tell you, you can change the properties of the thread also. You can change the properties of the thread also. And yes, for example, if you want to see the free body diagram of a block, if you want to see the free body diagram of the block, yeah, so you just see here. For example, if you want to see the free body diagram, which means how the forces are varying while oscillating the bob, so that will show you the free body diagram of the bob. So you see, you can observe there how the forces and the velocities and the momentum are varying while oscillating the bob with animations. So in this way, and in this software, I am repeating once again, the name of the software is Algodo, ALGODOO. In this Algodo software, we can create our own animations for a particular concepts, and we can analyze very perfectly. And if you could able to create an animation, and if you could able to plot a graph for that particular animation, and for the students, it would be so much helpful, and they may be easily understood by seeing these animations. So yeah, so this is all about how we can create the animation for the simple pendulum. Now I would like to show you one more animation, and then I'll switch to the today's experiment. I'll show you the one more animation, how we can play with the light. As you all know, how we can play with the light by using prism and laser and convex lens, concave lens, mirror. So how we can play with the light in this software, I'll show you now. So to play with the light, first I need a light source. So I'll select a laser, and you please see here, this is a laser. I'm taking a laser now. So to rotate the object on this plane, you just click on the rotate, and you can just rotate it. Yeah, so you can just rotate it. Now initially the color of my laser is only red, but you can change to any color. So see here, there are a lot colors for this laser. You can change to any color. For example, in the first case, I'll keep a monochromatic light, which means only a single wavelength will come out from the laser. Let me check with the red color. Now what I will do, I'll insert a prism for this laser. I'll insert a prism on this laser beam. So let us see what will happen. See here, there are 5 objects which we can use in this software: prism, concave lens, convex lens, a laser rays, and a plane mirror. First I'll insert a prism. Let us see what will happen. Yeah, so now when I'm inserting the prism, so let us see what will happen. Yes, see here how the prism is varying. So the light is reflecting. So when I am inserting the prism, the light is reflecting. Yeah, I'll insert once again. Yeah, so let me enlarge it. So as you all know, if the incident light is incidenting with the proper angle, that should transmit to the prism, and it will come out from the other end of the prism. So that what is happening here. And since it is a monochromatic light, just the light is coming out the prism as it is. So there is no dispersion, or there is no deviation for the light. Now what I will do, I will change the color of the laser to the white. Let me say. Then we'll see. You please see here. When I change the color of the laser to white, when the white light is passing through the prism, what should happen? It should disperse. So the white light should disperse into several colors. So this is how we can explain the dispersion of the light while passing through the prism. And to form a dispersion, the light should fall on the prism surface with a particular angle that we can explain here by using an experimental way. And these many effects we cannot observe by doing normal lab and a physical lab. So you please see here, when the light is falling on the prism, it is how it is dispersing, we can say. And you please see here, and what is this ray? This is a reflected ray, and this is transmitter and reflector ray, and this is a dispersive light. And for example, and I would like to see what will happen if I insert the another prism. So what will happen? Let me insert. So if I insert another prism, what will happen? Let me see. So you please see here. So I'll turn and I'll insert. Yeah, first then I'll enlarge it. Yeah, so you please see here, when I insert another prism adjacent to the first prism, what has happened? The dispersive light again combined. While passing through the other prism, the dispersive light again combined. So this effect. So what will happen if one of the student may have the doubt? For example, after the dispersion of light, what will happen if I include the another prism? That can be explained here. So this is how a light will be combined again if you insert another prism. And let me see what will happen if I insert a convex lens. If you see here, what is happening if you insert a convex lens? It is converging. As you all know, what is a convex lens? The behavior of convex lens, it will converge the incident light. So yeah, so it will converge the incident light. You please see here, it is converging the beam. And for example, what will happen if I insert a concave lens? So since it is a virtual lab, and since we are doing in a software, nothing will happen if you do any wrong or if you do any mistake. But for example, if you are doing in a normal lab, if you mishandle the prism, if the prism fallen on the ground, then it will immediately broken. So the prism will not be used in furthermore. But here you can do anything with the prism, and you can learn so much of so much of the concepts while using the objects. So here, how the light is dividing, and for example, I'll do one with one more. How the mirror will do. As you all know, what the mirror will do? It will reflect completely. It will reflect. This is the mirror property. Let me see. I'll rotate the mirror. Let me see. Yeah. So what is happening here? The reflected ray is getting entered into the concave lens. Then again, it is dispersing. So for a particular incident ray, the concave lens also will disperse the white light. So these concepts we can understood by using these animations. So finally, the one more thing I will show you, and then I will go to my experiment. Yeah, here if you click on any one of the folder, it will redirect you the home of the Algodo. In the home of the Algodo, there is the lessons, and this is very important. There are some lessons. These lessons have prepared by someone else or the persons who already downloaded this software, and they have created all these animations. You can go through these animations. These animations are very good, and with these animations also you can learn how to create the animations in this software. For example, I will show you one animation, and this is the animation for the Brownian motion. No, actually, I am presenting once. Yeah, hold a moment. I will show you. There is a mistake. First, I need to delete all these objects, so then only I'll get a proper animation. So let me delete all these, the laser also. Yeah, now I'll show you some of the lessons which will help you to learn this software, and to learn how to create the animations in this software. I'll show you. So for example, as you all know the Brownian motion, between the atoms. So you please see here, this will explain you the Brownian motion of the objects. Yeah. And there are some more lessons, and you can click on any lesson and you can go to the lessons. For example, here they are showing how the rainbow will form. How the rainbow will form in the sky. And I'll show you one more animation, and then I'll go to the show. Yeah, you please see here. Yeah, so in this animation, what they're showing on a smooth surface, how the objects are sliding. So this is what they are doing, what they are showing. Yeah, see there how the object is sliding over a smooth surface. In this animation they are showing, and yes, so these are all and this is all about an Algodo software, and this software is an absolutely free, and you can download it and you can install it and you can use it, and it is an absolutely free software. You can do your animation for your concepts, and you can explain to the students. And so with this explanation, I'll stop this animation, and then now I'll go to the one more experiment, today's experiment. Yes. Yeah, with this experiment, the second topic of today's session is I'll explain this experiment by using a virtual lab. Yeah, the title of experiment is rigidity modulus of the suspension of wire or a torsional pendulum. So in this lesson, I'll explain how the torsional pendulum is used to measure the rigidity modulus of the given wire. And first, I will explain what is the meaning of a modulus and how many types of moduluses are there. And I'll also explain what is the meaning of rigidity modulus. And finally, I'll explain how to do the experiment and how to take the values and how to get the result. That I will explain today. Yeah. So as you all know, there are three type of moduluses are there. The first one is an Young's modulus, where which relates the lateral stress to lateral strain, or you can define that Young's modulus. It is the ratio of lateral stress to lateral strain, which means the strain is along the length. You could see here. So I'll show you. I'll show you an animation. I'll show you with an animation. Yeah. So what is the Young's modulus? So all of you please see here. When I'm applying a force, the length is increasing. The increased length is delta L. The applied force is F on the area A. So Young's modulus is defined as the stress which is applying along the lateral and the strain which is producing along the length. So this is Young's modulus. And the next, what is the second thing? The second modulus is bulk modulus. As you all know, it will explain you the volumetric stress and volumetric strain. So the three-dimensional force will act on the object. The strain will also be three-dimensional. That will explain you the bulk modulus. And coming to the shear modulus, I will show you with an animation. So what is the shear modulus? Yeah. So all of you please see here. This is the square, and with respect to the lower surface, only the upper surface is moving. With respect to the lower surface, only the upper surface is moving. This strain is called shearing strain, and the force which is producing this strain is called shearing stress. The ratio of shearing force to shearing strain will give you the shear modulus or bulk modulus. And in today's class, we are going to calculate the shear modulus of the given wire. So yeah, so coming to the today's experiment. In this today's experiment, a disc is suspended through a wire. So let me say this is the wire initially. When I am turning the disc, the twist will happen in the wire, which means shearing stress is producing. So this force is known as a shearing force, and the strain which is producing in the wire, is called shearing strain. So the ratio of this shearing force to shearing strain, or shearing stress to shearing strain, will give you the rigidity modulus. And the aim of the experiment is to determine the rigidity modulus of suspension wire using torsional pendulum. And this is the equation we will use to calculate the rigidity modulus of the equation. And this is the table. In this table, if you fill the data here, and the rigidity modulus will automatically calculated here. And yeah, with this explanation, yeah, I will go to the virtual lab setup. Yeah. So as I said earlier, this is the virtual lab in Amruta, which was developed by Amruta. As I have introduced you in yesterday class, the Amruta is the platform where almost all subjects virtual labs are available. I am going to the physical sciences. In the physical science, yeah, I'm going to the torsional pendulum experiment.
So screen is not visible, sir.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sharing. I think now it's visible. Is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
now the aim of the experiment is, as I said, to determine the rigidity model of suspension wire. So before entering into the experimental details, all of you, I'm requesting all of you, please go to, all of you, please see this small video where they will explain what is a torsional pendulum with the visualization. So all of you, please look at the video for just 1 minute. Yes. So there is an excellent video made by the Amrita for explaining what is a torsional pendulum or introduction. Now this is a torsional pendulum. Now I'm going to the procedure, and then I'll go to the simulation part. In the procedure, they have explained you what are the parameters that we need to be fixed and what are the parameters we need to be varied. They have explained here. And for doing a smooth simulation, you need to go through the procedure. Now I'm going to the simulation part. Here I'll explain how to do the experiment virtually. Yeah, it is loading. So see here, this is an experimental setup, and in this experimental setup they have mentioned everything. So initially the string length is fixed for 0.3 meters, which means 30 centimeters. The string radius they have already mentioned, it is around 4 millimeter. The moment of inertia here they have mentioned 0.00125, and the value of d1 they are mentioning the disk parameters here. Now, how to start the experiment? First, you need to select the wire. So, which wire you want to do the torsional pendulum experiment? There are 4 options: copper, brass, bronze, cast iron, or zinc. Now, I'll go with the copper. For the copper material, now I'm going to calculate what is the rigidity modulus of the copper wire. Now, so the mass is fixed. Yeah. So now what you need to do, first you need to fix the length of the wire. So initially it is 30 centimeter. With this 30 centimeter, first I will start the experiment, then I will go with the 40, 50, 60 and like that. So first I will start with the 30 centimeter. Now to start the oscillations for the disc, you need to click on this arrow. So you will see here there are 2 arrows. On any one arrow you just click. So then it will start oscillations. So before starting oscillations, you just start the stopping clock. So here the stop clock starting. Yeah. So see there, the pendulum is start oscillating. So in this experiment, what you need to do, you need to measure the time for 10 oscillations. In 2 trials, we need to measure the time for 10 oscillations. So when I start calculating the oscillations, I'll start the stop clock. So for example, when this line, the black line comes to the right side end, then I'll start the stop clock. Then I'll start calculating the time for 10 oscillations. For example, now I'll start. This is 1 oscillation, and 2 oscillations, and 3 oscillation, 4 oscillations, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You just stop the stop clock. So the time is 28.42 seconds. So the time for 10 oscillations for the length of 30 meters of wire. So you please see here in the table, the first column, length of the wire. The length of the wire first I have chosen for 30 centimeter. So just enter 30 centimeter. In trial 1, the time for 10 oscillations is 28 seconds. Now I need to go for trial 2. Now I am going for trial 2. First I'll stop the pendulum and then I'll start again. Yeah. Yes. Wait a moment, it is showing some error. Yeah. So again you need to calculate the time for again the trial 2. In the trial 2 again you need to calculate the time for again for the same 10 oscillations. So then now I'll start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for 10 oscillations it is 25 seconds. Now you enter this trial 2, it is 25 seconds. So trial 1, trial 2, and here you will get the mean of 25 and 20, 28 and 25. Yes. So here you got the rigidity modulus of the disc. So as they have already given the radius of the wire, a moment of inertia, I have just substituted in place of I, moment of inertia, in place of R, the radius of the wire, the length, which is the 30 centimeters I have fixed, and the T is the time period, which I have calculated here. So these all values I have substituted here, so that I got the rigidity modulus as 5.23 into some 10 power something. So this is how we can calculate the rigidity modulus for the first length of 30 centimeter, and the same experiment you need to do for several for various lengths of the wire. Now you need to increase the length of the wire to some around 40 centimeter. Yeah, you see here when I'm increasing the slider, the length of the wire is going to be increasing. So now, for example, I'll do one more. I'll do for one more length and then I'll stop. Yeah. So now I'm going to do the experiment for the 40 centimeter length. So for this length, I'll repeat the experiment. Yeah. Okay. So for 40 centimeters of the length, now I'm calculating the time for 10 oscillations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for 10 oscillations, it is 30. Now go to your data, go to your table, and here the length of the wire we have taken as 40, and the time for 10 oscillations is 30. And for the trial 2, let me assume this again same 30 you will get, and then the rigidity modulus has been calculated. So you please see here the rigidity modulus you are getting almost constant, and then after entering for several lengths of the wire, you will get the rigidity modulus and take the average, and finally you will get the rigidity modulus of the copper wire experimentally. And for this rigidity modulus, you can compare with the theoretical rigidity modulus of the copper wire. So in this way, you can do the experiment, the rigid torsional pendulum experiment, by using a VLAB, and these are the parameters you need to be varied. And in the procedure, there is one more method is also there. You can also go through that method. There they have varied the masses of the disc. So with this explanation, I am stopping the today's session. So thank you, organizers. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So hope you all utilize these 3 days. Hope I have given some important information, good information. Yeah, thank you, organizers, and handing over to you.
Any question, please?
Yeah, any questions regarding the software and the experiment, you can ask now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
No questions, sir, but your lectures are totally awesome. Enjoyed the 3 days, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Sir,
Sir, can you please repeat the name of that software?
sorry? Sorry?
The software you are using during.
Algodo. That Algodo, sir, I'll provide that. I think that is the software, sir. You need to download and you need to install it.
Sir, can you please repeat the spelling once? A-L.
Sorry,
Is it available freely, sir?
sorry, sir. I'm not. It's not audible.
Is it freely available on the site, Google?
Yes, sir. You can search it and Google. You just type in Google Algodo, ALGODOO. You can type in Google and you will get the software. It is a free software. No need to purchase it.
Dr. Raju, I have a question.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
In this Algodo software, if you develop a kind of experiment,
Yes, sir.
whether that can be saved, number one, and whether that can be shared with students.
Sir, we can save our entire scene, sir, which means we can save our entire animation. We can also share that animation to the students, but they can be able to open that shared animation if they have the same software. So they should have same software to open that animation.
Some kind of login or some kind of account or dashboard will be created in the software.
Sorry, sir.
Some kind of login needed.
No need. No, sir. No need. The login is not required. But if you want to share to the students or if you want to share to the public, they may ask for login.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Please tell me.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
So with Tinkercad, can we do all experiment?
No, ma'am. With the Tinkercad, we can do only electronic circuit-based experiment. Non-circuit.
Because yesterday I didn't find the transformer in it, so I thought I'll do rectifier experiment. So I was asking whether is it limited or what?
No, ma'am. Rectifier experiment we can do with the Tinkercad. I think I have shown you on that day.
Okay, okay.
If you have any doubt, you can contact me on my personal number. I'll explain you how to do that.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
Feedback form is available. You can make your comment. Appreciations also welcome. Questions as well as appreciations are welcome.
Sir, my question is there. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
This is Dr. Alu Gupta. This is Dr. Alu Gupta from Kerala.
Yes, sir. Please ask.
Actually, your presentation is very informative and very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Last 3 days I have seen.
Yes,
so one is my request: if you share all the PPTs and all things by your mail, by our mail ID, then it will be beneficial for us in future.
So
because it's very quite interesting.
Sure, sir. Definitely. I will share my PPT with the organizers. And I will share all the links of my virtual labs also. I will share with the organizers.
Yes, and if you have some hyperlink of your videos and something like that, kindly share that hyperlinks in our mail so that we can click and go directly to see all these your experiment what you have seen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Definitely.
and once again, thank you to organizer for providing such a brilliant and nice platform to interact with such an expert. And only my submission is please share all the things, either PPT or link, to
You can
us
get in.
on the mail ID.
One important announcement I would like to give to the participants. You can get in contact with me on my YouTube channel. There I will post all these new things and what we can do. The interesting thing with physics. So any new software or any new website which is available for the physics, I'll share on the YouTube. You can search in my YouTube channel.
So how you will get your YouTube link?
Yeah, that is in the starting they have shown you.
Okay, okay. Please share with organizer. Organizer will spread to all the participants.
Sure.
Yeah, we will share it at the end of the session, sir. Now.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
sir.
Thank
We are coming to the end of the session.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
I'm audible, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Tell me.
Sir, this is Maheshwari Purushothaman from Tamil Nadu, Assistant Professor, Wales Institute of Science and Technology, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to first convey my sincere regards to the speaker, Raju Pantangani, sir, because it's really a very wonderful session for the past 3 days, sir. We were now able to understand how to make the animations, how
Yes,
to give it to our students, because they are our most contributory personalities. Really, it is awesome and fabulous explanation, sir.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
my question regarding this is, sir, when you were providing it in the Excel sheet, na, for example, photoelectric effect,
Okay.
you have given all the aim, theory, experiment, etc. And also the virtual video you have just inserted there. How can we do that one, sir?
No, ma'am. Actually, that is not. I have not inserted the virtual video. I have inserted a link, web link.
Okay.
So if you click on the web link, it will redirect to your browser. There it
So
will
we have
open the
to
animation.
we have to make that link there.
Yeah, we have to
that
insert
is
the link there.
okay, sir. Thank you for your explanation, sir. And I have to convey my sincere thanks to MGR College team and all the organizers of the team for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Raju, sir.
Thank you.
And already I have subscribed your YouTube channel because it is really awesome and explanatory. Thank you, sir. Thank you, organizers. Thank you.
Finally, we are coming to the vote of thanks. Good evening to all. First and foremost, let me thank our Honorable President for having given permission to conduct 3 days national level e-workshop on physics experiment through virtual lab from 8th to 10th June 2020. Our thanks to our joint registrar, Dean and Deputy Dean for their coordination and Dean for this valuable valedictory address. Special thanks to our resource person, young, dynamic and handsome personality, Dr. Raju Padangani, Associate Professor, Geetanjali College of Engineering and Technology, Kisara, Hyderabad, whose presentation on usage of Tinkercad of circuit-based experiments, photoelectric effect, diode experiments, relation between spring constant oscillation of a spring attracted more than 500 participants. It is a privilege and boon to the participants and also an astounding and astonishing one during this lockdown period. The credential of the event goes to the planned and well-defined strategy formulated by a team of our staff members. Google form formation, registration link, certificate design, and operation work are the main works carried out by Shankari Madam, Divya Madam, Kavita Madam, with the assistance of G.R. Shubhashri Madam. The welcome address and introduction of the speaker were well handled by Challamal Madam and Suchitra Madam. Thanks to Harshini Madam of English Department and Ganesh Babu, System Administrator, for their technical support. Finally, I thank the participants for making this workshop a wonderful and memorable one. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Thank you, Raju sir. Very kind of you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The session closes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.